So Monday meditations. I usually start this at 7 o'clock, and what happened tonight is I got into like a amazing conversation with we have a young fella here who's super interested in consciousness, in spiritual growth, in awareness. And I'd given him a couple of books to read, and one was Eckhart Tolle's Power of Now, and the other one was an Osho book. And he brought them, he read them in a couple of days, and came back for some more, and we sat down to discuss it a little bit. And he said that it seemed like Eckhart was pointing to now, and he talked about the emotional body or the pain body as something separate. And that Osho was saying for us to go into our feelings, go into our pain, go into our, and in his Ben's interpretation of that, it was that they were saying different things, and in a way they are saying different things. Osho was saying something different, but it leads to the same place, and there are many paths, and so we discussed that, and my experience is because I certainly spent a lot of time in Osho's teachings, was to experience whatever was happening, and to really go for it, go where the energy was. And so if I was feeling anger, to feel it, not to put it out, not to express it, not to be angry at people or to express it in that way, even though if I was feeling it and I wanted to move it, by being with my men and doing a push, or the old way of beating the pillows and all that stuff, but to feel it. Or jealousy, we talked about jealousy, because that was an area that for me, I went deep into jealousy and felt it, and felt every piece of it, and wasn't afraid to feel it, and because Osho was basically saying, if it's there, experience it. Don't push it away. Don't say no. Experience it, and so a lot of my last 25 or 26 years has been me being aware of that. Feel it. If something's happening, feel it, and go through it. Don't say no, and experience it, and yet, what Eckhart seems to be saying is that through awareness, we see the emotion, or the sadness, or the fear, and instead of going into it, be aware of it. And as we bring consciousness to it, it becomes, it evaporates, it disappears. Both of those things, both of those ways bring us to the same place, which is now. Experiencing fear, experiencing being there and experiencing it, joy or anger or jealousy, is leads us to freedom, as well as Eckhart's method of Power of Now, of observing it and recognizing that it's not us, and being there, watching it as the observer. And Muji talks about that, and that's part of Muji's pointing as well, is to be the observer, and to watch what's happening in each moment. So they all get us in a way to the same place, which is into this moment, into the now. And a lot of what I've talked about over the last couple of years has not been so much about experiencing anger or experiencing jealousy or experiencing fear. It's been more around using those things to bring us into the moment, to experience love in the moment. And love in the moment evaporates that other stuff. But either way will work. Either way, it dissipates. We see it. If we go into it, we see it. It's like, oh, there's nothing here. If we really, it pops. It's like we're feeling jealousy, and we feel like, no, I can't go into it. If I go into it, I'll die. But we do go into it, and we experience it, and we're like, oh my gosh, I didn't die. I didn't die. So, and then we see that it doesn't have any power. It only has power because we give it power, and we find freedom. Yeah. So this world of self-realization, of self-examination, of consciousness is not for the faint of heart. It's not. But if you're here, and you're listening, and you're familiar with the stuff I'm talking about, know that you are courageous. I believe you are courageous. You are stepping up, and there's lots that we, actually that we don't understand, and that's okay. It's not through understanding that we come into the moment, that we experience love. Love isn't an understanding. Love is love. Love is beyond understanding. Right? Love is beyond understanding. So, I think that everybody that hears that will say yes. Yes. Love is not from the mind. It's more from, we say it's from the heart. And yet it's even beyond anything physical. It's beyond that. Love is creative. Love is, mysterious. Love can't be described. And love isn't in the past or isn't in the future. Love is now. Really, right now. And so whatever's coming up, if we go into it, if it's jealousy, if it's fear, if we go into it and we feel it, in it, deep in it is love. We'll experience that. We'll burn, we will burn in that fire of the moment of whatever's going on, and then we experience love. Right? Yeah. Okay. That was it. Little, conversation about Osho and Eckhart Tolle. I think that we're going in the same direction. The same direction. Can you guys hear me? I had somebody today say that they couldn't really hear me, and I'm hoping that I can be heard. Can I be heard? Anyway. So we're going to meditate. Monday meditation is about that. It's about meditating, and we're going to take a few minutes to just drop in, and my experience is that through meditation that we become still, and in meditation, in the stillness, we discover ourself. And imagine that we talked about tonight about our natural state being love. And that as we move through the lower realms of guilt and shame and fear and jealousy and anger and pride and desire, and we let those go, we're like a cork, and we move up into our natural state. And our natural state is love. And my story tonight with Ben and Nathaniel was that How do we know that our natural state is love? Any of us that have been at a birth of a child knows that what happens in the room is love. And not just the infant is, we sense it, we feel it. It was like, my God, this is love. And that's the natural state until we start to tell it that it's not. We start to tell it that it's, we say no. Or, don't trust people, or be careful, or the world's not safe. And then ego separation comes. In the beginning, there's no separation. It's just love. You see this little infant, and as it starts to feel into itself and where it is, and recognize that it's somehow come separate from the one, and is in this body, and there are other ones there, and it, for a certain period of time, the infant doesn't even imagine that it's separate from mom. It's not separate. It feels like it's one with mom, and then the separation starts to happen. But the infant, little baby, is love, and that's our natural state. And then we get told that we're not that. And many of us, some of us were brought up in situations that were scary, and we were traumatized, and we started to feel like life was not safe, and we maybe had violent situations, and so we developed in a fearful way. Not all of us. I mean, lots of us were brought up in loving homes that where we felt loved, and yet still we were conditioned into our separateness, and we're conditioned by fear, and we were told things about ourselves that we thought that was us. Maybe we were told that some of us were told that we were brilliant, and that we, could do whatever we wanted to do, and we could, and we believed that, and we went and did that because we believed it, and but many of us were told that we were not good enough. Hi, Jennifer. We're going to meditate in a minute, hon. I hope you stay. So many of us, though, were told another story, that we were not good enough, that we were not smart enough, that we were not, and we believed that, and that was the beginning of separation from love, from our natural state. Jennifer is love. Her natural state is love. And so in meditation, we can drop into that. As we practice meditation, we drop into that state of love, to that oneness. And the more often we drop into that, the more we really become that. We are that love. We're not, who we thought we were, who we were told we were. It's not somebody's fault. Nobody knows different. Very, very few people know different. Hi, honey. Yes, I'm glad you're here. Hardly anybody knows different. We all think we're separate. It's the human condition, but we can be here in the separate body, if you will. The body's not us either, but we can be here using this and realize that we are love, that we are one, that we were always that one. We didn't become that one, we were always that one. And as we realize that, we move into a finer energy, into a finer being, into a more awakened. I don't know if that's even the word, but just a finer energy. And as we are lifted up energetically and vibrationally into unconditional love and beyond, as we're lifted up, we're able to perceive the world in a different way. We don't see the world as a fearful place. See the world as a beautiful place. We don't see our neighbors as somebody to be afraid of or not trust, or even a relationship. The idea of trust doesn't even come into being. There's no such thing. It's a limiting word. There's nobody to trust or not to trust. We just love, and we can't be hurt because we're not expecting anything. We're just there in love. We can't be disappointed. We're disappointed. And I'm not saying that the human in us doesn't feel those things, but we're free. We become free. We're not trapped in, and nobody has to be a certain way for us to love them, because we're not loving them. We are that love. Yeah. And as we move further into that, we're able to see more, because we have a higher elevation. We're able to be more in that elevation. That's it. So meditation can lift us into that one, more into that. And the more we be that, the more we be that, the more we are that, the more that we see that, the more we become aware of that, the more finer our energy becomes. And we are that love. We don't become that love. We are that love. We always have been that love. Our natural state is that. Our conditioned belief around fear or right or wrong or good or bad came after we came as love. So, practice being the love unconditionally. Move into the love. Nothing is missing. And then it's possible, we were just talking about this downstairs, that from a different perspective, we see different things. Because Ben was asking me, and I started out telling you the story about why I was late tonight, because I was talking to we have a new roommate, a young man, Ben, and he was asking me about, the whole idea that we've made up stories around the mysticism in enlightenment, mystical stories. Now, I don't know. Really, I don't know from my ego perception much about anything. But what I do know is that there's been a lot written about different dimensions, and that as we lift it up, we are able to see more of what's happening on the planet. My prayer has always been to be seen, to have the 10,000-foot view, to see more, to experience more of the dimensions of now. Nowhere to go to do that. It is here. We have it in us. All of the universes are in us now. Everything that ever was or is or ever will be is now. So as we're able to perceive in a finer detail what's here, let's imagine that the stories of angels, real angels like Gabriel, that we called him that, maybe they exist in different dimensions. And as we become more attuned to love and to finer energies, we can be exposed to those higher vibrations. As we live in a deeper state of love and gratitude. Thank you, thank you, thank you. A million thank yous, a trillion thank yous. We're exposed to more of what is. Is that possible? Yes, I think it is. I know it is. And so let's just, anyway, not that there's anywhere to go, if there's any next. This is now. Anything that happens is now. And this now, and this now, and this now. Okay. So that just some things to play with. So we're going to meditate for a little bit, because I kind of screwed up my phone stand tonight. We're going to do this. We're going to do this a little differently. We're going to. I'm going to hold it. And, that's really all I can do is do that, unless I take this little water bottle and I do this. Let's see what happens with this. And I think I can do it. I can. So that's going to be the deal. Hi, Kayla. We're going to meditate. We started a little late tonight, and I've been yakking for 25 minutes or so. And but we're going to meditate for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, our Monday meditation. And I kind of messed up my phone stand, so I've just I've just got myself sitting here like this. And so nice to have you with us. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me? Yes. Okay. So find a comfortable spot and join us if you'd like to. We're going to sit for a few minutes, and I recognize that part of what I do in meditation, or what I'm hoping to bring you to in meditation, is a realization from our experience that we are not our thoughts. We have thoughts. We experience them, but we are not them. So we can just literally let go of them. We don't need to hold on to them. We don't need to defend them. We can just let go of them. Only for a few minutes here. We're just going to do this for like 10 minutes. Do you think you could just let go of your thoughts for 10 minutes? Just follow me. We're going to do a little guided for a bit, and then we'll just sit quietly. So I just want you to bring your attention or your focus inside. Just for want of a better way to do it, let's focus inside in your mind. Let's imagine that we can just go into our minds with our focus. We're going to let go of everything. We're going to let go of all of our concepts. Let go of all thoughts of who we thought we were. We're not our thoughts. We're not our story. We're not somebody's son or somebody's daughter. Just for a few minutes, you can pick this all up after. Just for a few minutes, we're going to let go of all of our ideas of who we thought we were. We're just going to be here. Where's here? Today, I did this with a young fellow, and he said, well, here is in my brain. Who is in your brain to perceive that this is here? Who is perceiving that it's you in the brain? Is the perceiver separate from the brain? If we go into that who, so we've gone into the mind, and we've gone into whoever's watching us in the mind. Wow. Oh, I dropped my little phone. There we go. Just choose the breath. Come back inside. inside. Here I am. There is a space beyond thought, beyond the mind, like an empty space. You can go to that space, see that space. Doesn't have any form, doesn't have any substance, doesn't have any beginning, doesn't have any end. There's no feelings. There's no right or wrong, good or bad. There's no description. It's not spiritual. It's not spiritual. It just is. It's isness. That space of isness, that space of that. Just rest here in that space, beyond thought, beyond the mind. Just rest here in that space, beyond thought, beyond the mind. All right. I don't think I'm going to sit for very long tonight. So just come back when you're ready. Just recognize that you can go into that space anytime. No matter where you are, you can drop down, drop in, drop out. It's that space of love, beyond expression. All right. Thanks for joining me tonight. Love you guys. See you soon. Maybe see you tomorrow morning. Thanks, Jennifer. Love you too.